knows you've had battles with throughout the years.
Yeah.
So at the time, they were saying that, you know, you was on drugs. That's why they didn't want to invest in you.
Right. They already invested. What you mean they didn't want to invest? They already invested. Like I said, the album was recorded, shot the video. You mean everything? That was just some bullshit. You know what that was.
Do you ever feel
Let's
like
get
people,
rid of the competition?
Do you ever feel like people at the label didn't do enough for you when they could tell that you really needed help, or do you think that you were too far gone?
No, I was never too far gone. I mean, it just all I needed was just do me like you do everybody else. You know, you don't sit there and you know, speculate about this and think about this and assume this. Just do me like you do everybody else, and it's gonna be all right, man. You know what I mean? But that never happened.
So I think with DMX too, you never, Def Jam, I feel, never put a lot into DMX. It was always the groundwork with DMX.
Let me ask the question everyone's tossing around. Did Katt Williams actually reignite one of hip-hop's messiest, most persistent stories? Or did the internet turn a match into a wildfire? Over the past year, clips of Katt calling out Hollywood gatekeeping have been stitched into old tensions between Jay-Z and DMX, and then leveled up into a theory that ropes in Beyonce. Some of those claims are explosive. Most of them are unproven. Tonight we're sorting it, what's on record, what's just talk, and why this saga refuses to die. Here's the play. We'll rewind to how X and Hove collided, track the Def Jam power shift, unpack Irv Gotti's Drink Champs comments, lay out what Katt says about refusing to play along in Hollywood, and then separate the confirmed facts of DMX's death from the wilder internet allegations. We'll also break down the Beyonce lyric people keep quoting as if it's a confession. By the end, you'll know what's rumor, what's real, and why people keep connecting dots that probably don't connect.
DMX and Jay-Z didn't just arrive, they collided. Late 90s, the culture's in a chokehold. X kicks the door in and goes on a run almost no one has matched since. Historic. 5 straight #1 albums on the Billboard 200, debut after debut after debut. That's dominance, not a fluke. Even critics who were slow to catch on ended up admitting the obvious. The bark, the prayer, the pain, the anthems, X have a lane and he owned it.
What happened was, I had the crazy track record, Def Jam, everything was good. You know, I go to do the 6th album.
Jay-Z became president.
Yeah, when he first got the job, he hit me with the call like, yo, dog, inmates is running the building like, yo, you good? Finish the album, shoot the video. What happened? Let's go on vacation and, you know, we don't know. What you mean you don't know? How do you listen to a whole album, pick a single, shoot a video, then don't know? Okay, I see what's really good. You're trying to eliminate the competition. You know, because at first you retire, then get me off the label, now you're back rapping again. Okay. It's all good. That's all.
This is documented. He became one of the first rappers with 5 #1s, and the first to have his first 5 albums debut at #1. But here's where the air gets thin. In December 2004, Jay-Z moves from superstar to executive and takes the president seat at Def Jam. Picture your peer stepping into the office that controls budgets, singles, videos, timelines, the whole pipeline between the studio and the world. If you're DMX, is that just business or something you side-eye forever? The appointment is a matter of public record, and it changed the chessboard.
X's side of it? He always felt like he wasn't treated like everyone else. Over the years in different interviews, he said the machine stalled him. Album done, single picked, video shot, then the label suddenly doesn't know. He even framed it as eliminating the competition. Now, those are X's words and feelings, not a paper trail, but they fueled a narrative that fans still repeat. And then there's the album that never was. Irv Gotti has told the story more than once. A powerhouse project with Jay-Z, DMX, and Ja Rule just didn't happen. His framing is simple. X and Ja were down, and in Irv's opinion, Jay wasn't. Whether you buy Irv's reasoning or not, the episodes exist and the quotes are his. That one no became hip-hop folklore because it suggests something bigger than scheduling. Pride, legacy, and who wanted smoke on wax.
I ever had, I was like, we gotta sign DMX, and they laughed at me. I remember when I left the office, Tina Davis said, she knew what I wanted to sign DMX. She said, DMX don't sell, your ass is fired. Jay and Dame did not believe in DMX. Jay would be like, you think he's better than me? And I'd be like, he's nice just like you. I said, if you look in the hood, there's less of like you and more like him. Yeah, but he don't want to live that. He's depressing, Gotti. And I said, I don't give a. So Jay used to watch me grind with X, and he was off with the Hitman. And then something strange happened when I made Get At.
But this is where the story takes a turn. Katt Williams enters the chat, but not in the way people think. He didn't claim to have secret knowledge about DMX's death. What he did do, loudly and repeatedly, is draw a line with Hollywood power structures. In a viral January 2024 interview, Katt said he refused to do a sexual assault gag in Friday After Next. Rape is never funny. Even though he was the new guy risking his first big movie shot. Whatever you think of Katt's broader commentary, that specific stand is on tape, reported, and real. It's why some fans read him as the archetype of "I won't play along." Plug that energy back into the Jay-Z DMX story and you get gasoline. The internet doesn't need much. It never has. Let's zoom in on the part of the narrative that actually has receipts. DMX died in April 2021 at age 50. Multiple outlets, citing the Westchester County Medical Examiner's Office, reported the official cause as a cocaine-induced heart attack that cut off blood flow to his brain. That's the fact pattern, not a blog rumor, medical examiner sourcing. There is zero credible reporting that implicates Jay-Z, Beyoncé, or any other artist in DMX's passing. None. And if you think that sounds like Hollywood folklore, wait until you hear what people did with a Beyoncé lyric. On Cowboy Carter, Beyoncé has a track called Daughter. It's operatic, theatrical, and violent in its imagery, on purpose. The opening lines paint a scene in a bathroom, a body, bloodstains on couture, a bathroom attendant, let me right in. It's intense, but here's the crucial distinction. Critics widely read it.
X was with it, Ja was with it.
Jay wasn't with it.
I tried 2 times to make that album happen. X was with it, Ja was with it.
Why you think Jay didn't want to be Batman?
This is just my opinion. Just my opinion. I don't think Jay wanted to get in that room with X and Ja. It was not.
One more than the other, or
no,
both?
No, both. Jay is a very smart person. He's gonna do an album with R. Kelly. R. Kelly worships Jay-Z. Worships him.
And Kanye West.
Kanye West worships Jay-Z.
And Jay Electronica.
They all worshipped him. X and Ja don't worship Jay-Z. You're my man, but when that beat comes on, you're not above me getting at you. And that's what I do not feel Jay wanted to deal with. He didn't want to deal with. You know, I'm saying they would come at each other subliminally. So it wasn't a direct hit where they're gonna say your name and thing, but they coming at you. So do I want to make a whole album with these coming at me? And if I'm Jay-Z, there's a slight chance that what is gonna say I'm not the nicest.
That's what right. That's what it's not worth it.
Where's my win?
Right.
The only thing I'm seeing with this is potential loss. With now people are saying these is better than you.
As character and storytelling, not a diary entry. Treating those lines as a confession about a real person is a category error. The song is performance, not sworn testimony. So why did people tie that lyric to DMX? Or to a totally different rumor ecosystem? Because once a narrative hardens, powerful people move in shadows. Anything with dramatic blood on it gets dragged into the orbit. The same thing happened in 2021 with a claim that Jay-Z and Beyoncé bought DMX's masters for his kids. It sounded heartwarming. It went viral. It was also false. PolitiFact and others debunked it, and DMX's family explicitly said, no one has bought Earl's masters. That's how fast fiction becomes fact online, until the receipts arrive. DMX, let's tighten the timeline. DMX and Jay-Z had history stretching back to rap battles and tour rivalries. They were competitive, sometimes cordial, sometimes not. After Jay stepped down from Def Jam years later, the story didn't freeze. It kept morphing. You can find interviews where X vents about the label era, and you can find moments where Jay publicly speaks on X with respect and grief after his passing. Both can be true, the rivalry and the respect. The internet prefers a single villain, but real life is messier. And before we wrap, there's one final detail that breaks the pattern everyone expects. If Jay-Z was the cartoon villain of some conspiratorial script, you wouldn't see Rough Riders founders publicly say he allowed DMX to leave Def Jam while reportedly clearing a large debt. That doesn't magically fix every complaint X ever had, but it does complicate the sabotage at all costs angle that dominates social media threads. Reality resists one-note stories.
Publicly. Dream Hampton spearheaded the Surviving R. Kelly campaign, which fueled the Me Too campaign. And that was all funded by Sean Carter to make sure that Robert Kelly went to jail. Get his lick back. Why is nobody understanding that Dream Hampton was being financed and ran by Sean Carter? They were able to go and get all of these witnesses because he was there with Robert Kelly. How does Jay-Z sit down with Gayle King and she not ask him one question about the intersection between him and Aaliyah and Robert Kelly? This is insane that people keep refusing.
So what about Katt's place in all this? Here's the clean version. Katt's high-heat interviews about industry games became a catalyst, not a case file. They resonated because they matched a long-running suspicion fans carry about powerful people steering outcomes behind closed doors. When you pair that with X's own on-record frustrations about how his 6th album cycle was handled, you have a narrative that feels true even if parts of it aren't. That's how rumors get dressed up in credible clothing. Where does Beyoncé actually fit? Beyond being Jay-Z's wife and a singular artist with the biggest spotlight in the room, most of the claims tying her directly to DMX are projection and speculation. People took a violent piece of storytelling from Cowboy Carter and stapled it to a past rumor ecosystem. No receipts, lots of volume. When the most verifiable Beyonce DMX story in 2021 was her and Jay not buying DMX's masters because it didn't happen. That tells you how far apart the discourse is from the facts. Let's land this with what's solid. Confirmed, DMX's cause of death was a cocaine-induced heart attack leading to catastrophic loss of blood flow to the brain. That's per the county medical examiner via multiple outlets. Confirmed, Jay-Z became president of Def Jam in December 2004. That power shift is a matter of record and obviously influenced artist label dynamics. Confirmed, DMX's chart dominance included an unprecedented run of his first 5 albums debuting at #1 on the Billboard 200. On record opinion, not fact, Irv Gotti has said he believes Jay didn't want to do the DMX Jaw-Jay album. That's Irv's view from Drink Champs, not a courtroom exhibit. On record stance by Katt Williams, he refused a sexual assault gag in Friday After Next. Rape is never funny, which fuels his public persona as someone who bucks the system. Debunked the feel-good rumor that Jay-Z and Beyoncé bought DMX's masters for his kids. DMX's family and fact-checkers shot that down.
How many victims potentially do you think there could be?
Thousands. Thousands. I've talked to hundreds that I deal with still myself. I have 3 victims right now who are willing to give testimony about not only what Mr. Carter has done to them, but his wife as well. They're a nasty little couple. They do nasty things.
What do you think happened with Kim
Keeping
Porter?
people against their will. Putting people on planes while they're unconscious, just like Aaliyah got on that plane. Unconscious. There's a lot of things that people don't want to talk about. That changes now, Sean. You must respond. You have no choice. Harvey Weinstein, Jeffrey Epstein, Robert Kelly, Sean Combs have one person in common, professionally and privately. Sean Carter. This has been a fist of tyranny that has been punching through our culture and our society for decades. It must stop.
Everything else, grand conspiracies, murder plots, secret cover-ups, lives in the rumor column with no hard evidence. Now, does that mean people imagine the friction between X and the machine? No. DMX told you himself he felt mishandled. Irv gave you his viewpoint. Katt gave you his. But none of that bridges the canyon between industry politics are real and crime was committed. This is where we, as fans, have to separate compelling stories from confirmed reality, especially when we're talking about someone's life and legacy. So what do we do with a story like this? We can honor DMX's truth without inventing new truths. We can debate label politics, power moves, and what could have been if that super album happened. We can also celebrate the catalog that did happen, those 5 thunderclaps at #1, while recognizing that addiction and health are real, ugly battles that don't need conspiracy to be heartbreaking? Your turn. Were X's frustrations the kind of business as usual that looks like sabotage from the outside? Or do you think there was something more specific at play in how his 6th album cycle went down? Drop your take in the comments. If you're here for deep dives that cut through the noise, tap like, hit subscribe, and ring the bell so you don't miss the next one. And if you want me to do a part 2 on the lost DMX/Jay project, how it started, why it stalled, and which demos still float around, say Murder Inc. in the comments and I'll know you're serious.